Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and on this channel, we answer, publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. We have a question here from Stephen Webb, Stephen Webb Jr. History, who says, "LOL, you are great. I love listening to you. You are hilarious, but you're real and you're serious, just how I expect a lawyer should be." That is better than I deserve. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you to say. But Stephen Webb goes on. My question is, how is it going up against public entities, like government entities, for a retaliation claim? Is it harder? Do you guys try to avoid those cases? Any insight would be great. Okay, so this is super simple. There is an industry answer and a my firm answer. And it's not just my firm. The easiest way to judge this or break this down is firms that are comfortable with trial and firms that are not. When you're suing a governmental body, the federal government, the state governments, the city governments, municipal bodies, counties, whatever, what have you, agencies, they're not playing with their own money. Which is true for corporations too. The individuals you're fighting with, they're not playing with their money, they're playing with the corporation's money. However, corporations generally tend to be capitalist, right? And so they hold people accountable when they lose big chunks of the money. The shareholders want to know, where did the money go? This is generally not true for elected officials, agency employees, municipal employees, civil servants, state employees. There's not a lot of accountability. And that creates an interesting situation where they just sometimes don't care. It doesn't matter how wild your case is. It might not even matter, like if you sue the MTA in New York City and you try to go, the court of public opinion, make them look bad. Their response is, do you know how hated we are? You can't make us more hated. We're the most hated. We don't run trains on time. We actively engage in corruption routinely. It's outed routinely. We are a living, breathing disaster of an organization, just gobbling down federal money and city money and just spending billions upon billions of dollars to not get you where you're going, right? And just keep boosting the fares. We don't care. We don't care at all. We're the MTA. You can't get rid of us because New York City doesn't have a subway system. So we just don't care what people think of us. They already hate us. Okay. So that's all right off the bat. That's off the tool bench. You can't make them look bad. They're already the worst. Okay. And then the next thing is, well, okay, you're suing us. You know who's going to pay that? The people of the town. The people of New York City. The people who pay federal taxes, right? So we don't care about that either. And we're not really going to be held accountable. We have union protections. You can bring your case. You can win your case. But odds are, unless somebody does something objectively and provably egregious, like it has to be super bad and super provable, even that person might not be terminated, right? So there's not a lot of settlement discussions. There's not a lot of give and take, so to speak. It is generally speaking an extraordinarily negative litigation, a lot of conflict. Their attorneys are prepaid, right? Like if you sue a New York City agency, they get corp counsel, special fed, corp counsel. Some members of special fed are tremendous. Many of them are shattered hulks of human beings who can barely practice law. And so it's, what it is. They're just going through the motions sometimes. They're not really litigating in an aggressive or meaningful fashion. They're not interested in settlement. So all this kind of brings us to a core ethos here. A core takeaway. Firms who are comfortable going to trial will bring cases against the federal government, state governments, municipal governments, county governments, right? Because often those cases will go to trial because those governments are often not interested in settlement. They just don't care. They simply don't care. So you have to say to yourself, okay, this case is unlikely to be in the 98% of cases that settle in our industry. It is likely to be trial bound. And would I try this case? And if the answer is yes, we would try this case, then you can take that case, right? But there are many firms who don't want to try cases at all. They don't maintain a trial team, or at least not a full-time trial team. Trying cases can be, a lot of risk for some of those firms in terms of the expenditures that go into it. Large endeavors for them, something they're not used to necessarily. So a lot of times those firms, the firms that really hang their hat, they need to settle just about everything. They're not going to want those cases. They don't want that smoke, right? Like that's just a bump in the road for them. That's not necessarily worth it. It's not that they couldn't win the trial. Maybe they would, but the cost and the risk and the size and scope of the undertaking of trial for them is too great. They're not set up for it. They haven't paid the upfront investment to have the dedicated trial team, to be ready on a moment's notice for that, to be able to go into mediation and say, this isn't going to do it for us. We're gonna go ahead and try this. Our client is not going to accept. We're going to try this case, and they might go into mediation to fake it, but at the end of that mediation, they're going to, well, wait, what was the last best? What was your last offer? Maybe we'll take that last offer. And you can't do that really with a state or municipal or county or even the federal government. Like, it just probably isn't going to work out for you. You're probably oftentimes going to be faced with the trial. And those trials can be amazing. You can win big. I am a fan of those trials. I'm a fan of cases that don't settle, because the upside, that what you could hope to win, can be great, can be tremendous, especially for the firm, right? Because then we get to apply for attorney's fees. There's a lot that can go on if you win at trial. And you don't have to hedge for risk, right? You embrace all the risk already. You're going to trial. You're risking it all. So you can swing big. And that's tremendous, right? So I'm a fan of that. Our firm does not shy away from any of those cases, the state cases, the municipal cases, the county cases, even the federal cases, although we are very expensive for federal cases. I would say that we are psyched, pumped for those cases where the case is good. The underlying case has to be really good, right? Like, I can't go spend 80, 90, 100 grand and hundreds of attorney hours on a trial that I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's not going to happen. I'm not such a good guy. I'm going to risk my war chest on a, right? That's just not going to happen. But that being said, a good case? Yes, please. Thank you. Let's go to trial. Let's do it. Let's make it happen, right? But you will find that a lot of firms in this industry just say, no, thank you. That's especially true in New York, where corruption is such an issue. And I'm sure corruption is an issue all over. But to varying degrees, right? New York, it's omnipresent and omnidirectional, and just, it's a problem. So you got a lot. My cough is terrible today. I'm so sorry. You got a lot going on. It's a lot of risk. The case has to be good. But no, we love it. We love it a great deal. Just many firms don't. Anyways, Stephen Webb, I hope this answers your question. I wish you great luck with your case. I hope you get a big payday, you get made whole, and the bad people are punished, and all the wrongs are righted. If this was helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below, share our channel so it can grow. Take care.